I have started the recording. See, yesterday we have just discussed about the Java installation. You ask me if the installation is completed. No, it is not completed. We need to do little setup on top of that installation, right? I have already taken you through some steps to download and to perform the installation. Of course, if you have done those, if you have followed those steps, the installation is almost complete. But we need to do little setup. Before even proceeding with the setup, I will I will just try to help you out with small things like how operating system and how Java programming language is going to communicate with each other. So this is the eye level diagram, eye level illustration. This will be very interesting. See, whenever we are writing a Java program in a notepad, right, we do compilation and we do execution, and we just use two prominent commands, which are Javac is one of the commands and Java is the another command. This command is going to perform the compilation, this command is going to perform the execution, right? So when we do this, you just see the output, isn't it? But there are so many things happening behind. I mean, behind the scenes, so many processes are happening. We need to understand what is happening behind the scenes. That understanding is very important, right? So we know what, and we have to understand how it is happening behind the scenes, right? Today I will help you with that. So since in our last class we have just completed installing the Java software, right? So after installation, this is how the software looks like. So in our last class we have just completed the Java installation, and after installation, this is how the software looks like. The software is divided into two parts. One part is for JDK and the another part is for JRE. JDK and we have JRE. We have already discussed that JDK is nothing but it's an acronym for Java Development Kit, Java Runtime Environment. We will see these things in actions today. Java Development Kit and Java Runtime Environment. This is the Java software. Java software by default will get installed, and after installation, it is going to have two folders. One folder is JDK, another folder is JRE. Right? I will keep it very simple. Inside this JDK, if you get inside this JDK folder, you will find another folder called bin. Inside this JDK, we have a folder called what? Bin. It is a folder. It is that is how it is defined by the Java people. The folder name is bin. Inside this folder, you will find a lot of Java tools. Just inside this folder, you will find a lot of Java developing tools. What are they? What are they actually? We will understand them today. So the tools are in the name of. You can recognize these tools. They are the most powerful tools. Java C is one of the tools. Java is another tool. Javadoc is another tool. And we will take one more tool, for example, and Java P is another tool. These are the tools that are available in this bin folder. Each and every tool is going to perform a job, right? So these are the tools that we often use in the command prompt. Java C performs compilation, Java performs execution, Javadoc document generation, and Java P complete description. Right? Let me write that here. Compilation, and execution, document generation, generation, and Java P is for complete description. And these tools are not limited to four. There are many tools, but these are the prominent tools that we come across. That we have used this tool very often. Java C, Java. So we have used this in the command prompt in the form of commands, Java commands. So these Java commands are available in the bin folder, and which is available inside JDK. Right, inside the Java development kit, we have developing tools. So all this together, we can say it as what? Developing tools. Which are called as developing tools. Let me write that here. Developing tools. Java developing tools. Right, and another folder has been created after the installation. These folders are created by default. You have nothing to do with this. Let me show these folders. So in my computer, by default, the Java has been saved in the program files. Inside this program files, there is another folder called Java. If I open this, there are two folders. One is JDK and second one is JRE. Each and every folder, JDK has developing tools. So let me open JDK. Inside there is a bin. Inside this bin, you can file the Java P. Java P is one of the developing tool. Hope you're able to see this. Java C. This is the developing tool. This is another developing tool. And we see a lot of tools, but the prominent ones are what? Java P, javadoc. There is a javadoc. Somewhere it will be here. And we have a tool called Java, just Java. It will be somewhere. These are the tools that we come across in the bin folder. Java P, Java H, javadoc, Java C, and Java. Right? Hope you're able to see. So I'm going to help you out about this uses of this tool and how to access this tool. So these things are very important. So please pay some attention. There's screenshot and so let me write some theory for better understanding. Java tools, or we can say Java developing tools are part of the Java development kit, and these tools are used to perform some operations on the Java programming language. By default, after the installation, by default, they will be made available in the C drive, program files, Java folder, JDK folder, and bin, side bin, you will find Java tools. Right? Hope this is making some sense. Java tools. So inside JDK we have Java tools. With these tools we are going to use in the command prompt to perform some operation. We are going to see about it in a crystal clear way. Okay. So let us go back to this JRE. JRE is nothing but it is an acronym for Java Runtime Environment. We have seen this yesterday. Java runtime environment. So in the Java runtime environment, you will be finding a bin folder and a lib folder. There will be two prominent folders that will come across in JRE. One is a bin folder, second one is a lib folder. Bin folder, second one is lib folder. Let me show you the path. JRE, you have bin, you have lib, right? If you open bin, so there will be many jar files. So we do not have to worry about these jar files. If you open lib, there will be a specific jar file called rt jar. This file, this is very important. Rt. Hope you're able to see this. Rt jar file. So inside the lib folder, we have a file called rt.jar file. Jar file is nothing but Java archive file. I will explain you what is jar file. Java archive. Okay. So Java archives are nothing but a collection of dot classes, collection of interfaces, a collection of modules, we can say. All the modules are collected into a single entity, single unit, right? So inside the jar file, you will be finding a lot of predefined Java dot class files. So I can write it in a simple way. Inside this, you will find a lot of predefined dot class files. Right? So very simple. Let me keep it very simple. Once after installing the Java, you will find a folder called Java, and when you open this, you will find a JDK folder and JRE folder. Inside the JDK folder, you will be having tools for development, right? Inside JRE, you will have to remember only one thing: rt.jar file, right? Inside this jar file, you will have a lot of predefined dot class files. This understanding is enough. Right? With this understanding, we will go forward, right? So let us understand as soon as, for example, let me do some partition. Okay. So let us assume that this is my, please focus here, this is very important. Let us assume that this is my operating system, right? I am using Windows operating system. Let me write that here. Windows operating system. So Windows 64-bit operating system. Let me be very specific. Windows 64-bit operating system. Okay. So in my operating system, I have, like, we have temporary, usually we have what? We have usually have temporary storage and a permanent storage. So temporary storage, like RAM comes into picture for the temporary storage, isn't it? So if you talk about temporary storage, RAM comes into picture, random access memory, RAM. But if you talk about permanent storage, like hard disk or SD card comes into picture, right? To see my computer, let me take my laptop as an example, right? So my laptop memory has been, as I have two partitions. One is C drive, second one is D drive. I have two partitions. So let me do the same here. This is my, assume that this is my SD card, and I have two drives. One is C drive, second one is D drive. So let me take this as C drive. C drive, and this one is D drive. D drive. Right? I have two drives. One is C and second one is D. So usually all the softwares, all the system softwares, all the operating system will be installed in the C drive. All the program files. If you talk about program files, if you talk about operating system, everything will be inside what? Inside C drive. Let us assume that this is my operating system. So let me reduce this space. Let us assume that this is my operating system. Windows operating system. Windows operating system has occupied some space in the C drive. Right? Inside this Windows operating system, I have a lot of softwares. Let us say that I have softwares like Notepad, MS Paint, and all the Windows OS. We have like MS Word, all the Microsoft Office, and apart from that, I may also have command prompt. This is the command prompt that is contained in my operating system. So let me write this is. Let us imagine that this is operating system, and inside this I have a command prompt. My command prompt, and this is my OS. Right? So I have installed, if you see, my Java has been installed in C drive by default. The installation has happened by default in the C drive. Inside the C drive, let me show that here. If I go into the C drive, so there is a folder called program files. Inside this program files, and there is another folder called Java. So these things are taken care by operating system while performing the installation. By default, these folders are created, and inside these folders, we have a lot of folders inside JDK, and we have a whole set of folders inside JRE. So these things are taken care by the operating system itself, because during installation, these things happened by default without my control. Hope you are able to understand. Without my control, these things has happened, right? So assume that the Java has been installed, and let me go back to this memory. So Java has been installed here. So this is the Java folder. Just imagine that this is the Java folder. Let me write that here. This is inside the Java folder. I have what? JDK, JDK, and JRE. Right? So everything has been stored. I mean, everything has been saved in the C drive by default. These things has happened without my control. By default, it has happened. This is JDK, and this folder is meant for JRE. JDK, and let me write JRE. JRE. Sounds good. So inside JDK, I have shown you some comments, right? The comments are like inside JDK, we have found a folder called bin folder. Inside bin folder, we have seen some prominent comments, some important comments, some tools, some powerful tools like what? Java C. For the time being, let us assume that we have Java C and Java command. These commands are contained in the bin folder. Right? Inside JRE, we have found a file called rt.jar archive file. Inside JRE, we have a folder called lib. Isn't it? That's what you are saying. Inside the lib folder, here we have rt.jar file. rt.jar file. Right? So these many things has happened after the Java installation. Memory has been occupied in the C drive. So far so good, right? So what happens if I write the first Java program? You will understand that. Behind the scenes, you will understand how from the memory point of view, from the operating system point of view, from the Java point of view, how these things are communicating with each other. So we are going to understand that. So far we have discussed saving the Java file, compilation and execution. Right? We have discussed what is what, right? But we have to discuss how it is happening behind the scenes. What is happening behind the scenes? Right? So let me take a small sample Java program. Class sample. Because I'm keeping it as sample to make it simple. Okay. Public static void main string array box. And you don't find these things in anywhere in the internet, so please pay some attention. Understanding is very important. System dot out dot println hello world. A simple Java program, a typical Java program, right? Name of the class is sample, and a main method is there, and a one line instruction inside the main method. So let me save this. While saving this, we usually prefer the location. Now understand one thing. I am trying to save this in the D drive, new volume D. Inside D drive there is a folder called Java 3. Right here I am trying to save it. I deliberately choosing to save this in the D drive. Right. So the name of the it should be saved with the .java extension. We know that already, and the file name should be same as the class name. Here the class name is. It is recommended to be same as the class name. Sample.java. If it is public, it is mandate. It is compulsion. If it is not public, it is just a recommendation. Okay. Sample.java. To save it. Now let me take you to the folder to see this program. This code has been saved inside the D drive. I have two drives, C and D. Inside the D drive, inside the Java folder, Java 3 folder. So let me delete this too. Okay. So sample.java has been saved inside where? Inside the D drive, inside a folder called Java 3. This is where I have saved, right? So let me go back to the paint. So in the D drive, inside the D drive, I have created a folder called what? Java 3. Java 3. Inside Java 3, we have a file called what? Sample.java. Let me keep it. Right? The name of the file is what? Sample.java. Let me write that also. Sample.java. Right? So this has happened so far. So this is how one can imagine. Right? C drive, D drive, and the main Java software is inside the C drive. We just did the installation. Setup is not yet complete. Now I will make you to understand how to complete the setup. Right? So I have already told you many times. This is called as what file? .java file is also called as what? Source file. Right? You cannot share this source file to the client. So in order to share this, share your information, you will be sharing in the form of .class files. Source files cannot be shared directly. It has to be converted to .class files, and you will share the .class file. Right? So before even now, let us take the command prompt into the picture. Now we need to perform the compilation and execution by using what? By using command prompt, right? Let us assume that this is a command prompt. So command prompt is here. I am just maximizing it here. Just an assumption, right? Command prompt. I have just opened the command prompt. So let me open my command prompt. Hope you're able to see my command prompt. If you see the command prompt is pointing to a different location. So C drive user. But you must understand that I have saved the Java in the D drive. Inside the D drive, I have created a folder called Java 3. Right? Inside Java 3 folder, I have saved the file in the name of sample.java. I need to change the directory here. I need to ensure that the command prompt is also pointing to the directory where I have saved the Java file. It makes sense now. So this location should be changed. In order to change the location, a very simple command I will use. So which drive the file has been saved? Inside the D drive, right? To change the drive, just use a simple command, capital D, semicolon. Just keep enter. Now the command prompt is pointing to the D drive, right? This is just like command prompt is just got inside the D drive, right? And we have saved the file inside this Java 3 folder. Inside the D drive, we have a folder called Java 3. I need to ensure that the command prompt is pointing directly inside this Java 3 folder, inside this location. In order to do that, I will use another command called cd. cd means change directory. Space, give the folder name Java 3. Right? So now the command prompt is pointing towards the same location where we have saved the Java file, source file. Hope this is making sense. Just type yes in the chat box if you are able to follow till now. Okay, sounds good. Good. Now some magic will happen. See, we have just changed the directory. Let me copy this. Let me paste it. For your understanding, I'm just trying to paste it over here. Paste. So we have used these three little commands first. So right, so this making sense. Now this command, this line, the third line in the command prompt is what it says. The command prompt, the control is directly pointing here to this file, to this folder. As the control has come inside the folder. Command prompt is pointing towards, let me take it in black. This direction directly. Okay. Now we need to perform the compilation. We ensured that the command prompt is pointing towards the source file, but the source file needs to get compiled. In order to perform the compilation, we need to use a command. We need to use one of the Java tools for the compilation. What is the Java tool? We have already seen some Java tools. We have to use Javac. This is for compilation. So in the command prompt, I will be using what? Javac space. I need to use the file name. What is the file name? It is pointing towards sample.java. I need to use this. If I am using a different name like abc.java, what happens? Let's see. It is not able to find. Right? So I need to use the exact file name, javac space sample.java. Right? So before even giving enter, let me tell you one more thing. Let me show you one more thing. So this is the next command for the compilation. So I have used a tool called Javac. Right? We have installed the Java, everything is fine, but in the command prompt I have used a command called Javac. So what will happen is, Let me write that here. Whenever point one, Java C2, whenever the programmer uses Java C command inside the command prompt, the command prompt will check for the tool in two locations. Because we are just commanding inside, we are just asking command prompt to compile this, but command prompt should recognize this command Java C. This command should be recognized by the command prompt, right? That's why it will check whether this command Java C is the part of operating system. First it will check in the operating system in two locations. First it will check in the operating system, Windows operating system. In this case, it will check if the Java C command is located in the operating system command list, right? Since it is a Java command, it is not possible for this particular command to be identified in the operating system. If it is not getting identified in the operating system, it will search in the environment variables. Environment variables. Variables. Two locations. Okay, let me show you that. What does it really mean? I'll help you. Right? We have used a command prompt. We have used a JavaScript, right? So yesterday we did not talk about the setup. We need to inform the command prompt, inform the operating system that we are going to use some set of Java tools. So this set of Java tools, if you see, these Java tools are located in which location? Inside Java JDK bin. Inside the bin folder, these tools are located. We need to inform the command prompt before even executing the program. How we should inform the command prompt? That's the question, right? So go to the command control panel. Open the control panel. Inside the control panel, just type environmental variables. Right? You will see a lot of options: computer name, hardware, advanced. Right? Click on advanced. Click on environmental variables. Environment variables. Right? You will see a kind of two folders: user variables for users, system variables. You go and see the system inside the system variables. There is a word called path. You click here, just give it, right? Inside this, if you see here, you're able to find a path called C program files Java JDK 1.8.0. something like that. Like a bin folder is there. I have given the directory here. I have set up the path here. If you're not setting up the path here, the Java C command will not be recognized. Let me repeat that once again. So whenever you are using Java C command, the command prompt Java C, command, this command prompt is going to check this in two locations. One is in the operating system command list. It will not find. Secondly, it will find it in the environment variables. Inside this environment variables, again we have two categories. One is system user variables, second one is system variables. System variables and user variable. User variables, right? So in here you have to define the path here. So if you are defining the path here, so define the path for what? You have to define the path for this Java tools location. Java P, Java C, Java dot, Java dot. These are the developing tools that are located in this path. Java, JDK, bin. Inside this bin folder, these tools are available, right? So you need to define the path in any one of the variables. Either you can define it in system variables and either you can define it in user variables. The difference is very simple. If we are only one user, you can define it here. You can set the path here. In your system, if there are multiple users, you can define the path in the system variables. Right? Some restrictions will be there. If you are a single user, you can define it here. But in your system, if there are multiple users, you can define it in the system variables. Right? Just defining is nothing but just defining the path. So this is the path. Let me copy and paste it here. Java C, Java, not Java. Program files. Inside the program files, there is a folder called Java. Inside Java, JDK, bin. Just copy this path and paste it in the system variables or the user defined variables. As simple as that. Now, after pasting it here, the installation will be completed. This is what we call it as what? Complete installation. We will have to paste it here. Either here or here, depending upon your operating system. You need to ensure that the directory is getting entered at the bin folder, because inside the bin folder we have the Java tools, right? So I will also attach screenshots. Inside the control panel, go to the control panel and inside the control panel and search for environment variables and go to advanced, click on environment variables, and in order to set the path, there is a you can see the path thing here. Click on that, click on edit. You will find a lot of options. Click on new, paste that path here, click OK. That's it. Since I have already have the path, I am not doing it. Since you will have to do it, after doing it, you will be able to compile the program. You are giving the intimation to the command prompt to your operating system that I have some tools for the Java development. Those tools are available in this particular path. So just giving the intimation, that's it. Right? Now what happens, as soon as you give javac command, the command prompt is going to check your command in two locations. So this is the command that we have given, isn't it? Javac. So this command will be checked in two locations. Firstly, it will check in your operating system command list. In your Windows operating system command list, it is going to check. If it is not available in the list of the command list in your operating system, it is going to check in the environmental variables. And again, inside the environmental variables, there is again bifurcated into two parts: system variables, user defined variables. So in the system variables or user defined variables, if it is finding the path, then it will go to that location. After finding the path, the control will be transferred from here to the exact path, from here to here. Javac is able to identify. Now what happens? Now listen here. Very important. Listen here. Okay. Okay. As soon as it finds the developing tool, it will activate the compiler. Very important. Now the compiler will be activated. It will activate the compiler. The compiler will be activated. So as soon as it hits the javac command, As soon as it hits a javac command, compiler will be activated, right? That's what I said. As soon as it finds the Java developing tool, it will activate the compiler. Next, once the compiler is activated, the compilation will be performed, and it will take the source code that we have defined following the, it will take not the source code, it will take the source code or the file that we have defined following the javac command. What I mean is, following the javac command, we have defined the source file sample.java. It will take compiler will take this source file inside. That's what I mean. It will take the source file that we have defined following the javac command. It will do, again it will do two things. First thing is, it will check for syntax errors. It will check if there are any syntactical errors in the code. Syntax errors are nothing but grammatical mistakes. Secondly, it will check for semantic errors. Semantic errors are nothing but the structure of the Java code. I will explain it. The structure of the Java code. Okay. What I'm trying to say is, so this is the compiler. Let us assume that this is the compiler, and we have just ensured that we have just activated the compiler. So as soon as the compiler is activated, it is going to take inside this sample.java file, isn't it? This is sample.java file. This will be sent to compiler. Okay. Compiler will perform two operations. One is it will check for syntax errors. Secondly, it will check for semantic errors. Java of the compiler, it will perform two operations. Okay. So let me take the same code here. So syntax errors are like it will check each and every keyword. Firstly, it will check class. Whether the class is a keyword, it should be in the lowercase letter, right? And secondly, it will check this. It should not have any spaces. This sample is a fully evolved world, right? It has no spaces, and each and every word it is going to check. That is what we call it as what? Syntax errors. It will check if there are any syntax errors existed, right? So what kind of checking it will be? It will check if this program is violating the Java keywords rule. It will check if there are any violations. They are called as what? Syntax errors. What is semantic errors? Semantic errors are nothing but structure. What is structure? I already said the structure will look like this. A typical Java program structure will look like what? Like this. Firstly, we will have the package command section. We have already seen this. Second one is package section. Third one is import section. Fourth one is class section, right? And inside this class, method section. This is what the structure is. It will check if the developer's program has followed this structure. These are called what? Semantic checking, semantic errors. It will check for the structure of the program. Right? This package section, you cannot keep this package section should always be top. And this command section can be anywhere. It can be anywhere. That is not a what compulsion. So by default, the package section should be on top. But you cannot have the package section inside the class or inside the method. It should be always on the top. And import section should be after the package section. Okay? And after this two, you can have class section. This is what the semantics are. This is what the structure is. Okay? If these two conditions are valid, if these two conditions are qualified, what happens? The compilation will be successful. How do we know that compilation is successful? It is going to generate dot class file. When I am saying, let me write that here. After the okay. If the program is free of syntax errors, semantic errors, then the compiler will perform the compilation. And generates the dot class file. These dot class files are also called as bytecode or intermediate code, and this will be sent to the table. As simple as that. So in this case, the sample.java will be converted into what? Sample.class file. As simple as that. Over here, it will be converted into what? Sample.class file. This is what happening behind the scenes. So behind the scenes, what are the things that are happening behind the scenes? Right? First, we need to specify the path of the current location where we have saved the Java program. After that, in order to do the compilation, this is the command for the compilation. But as soon as the command prompt finds this compilation command, it will check in two locations. One is in the operating system, second one is in the environment variables. And again, inside the environment variables, we have system variables and we have user variables. There we have to define the path where the command prompt can identify this Javac tool. Javac tool is found inside where? It is found inside this location. This location is inside bin. Bin is inside JDK. JDK is inside Java. Java is inside program files. Program files, and program files are inside C drive. C drive. So as soon as the command the tool is identified, as soon as this tool is identified, Javac tool is identified, compiler will get activated. Right? Once compiler is activated, what happens internally? Compiler is going to check for syntax errors and semantic errors. Syntax is nothing but the grammatical mistakes. Semantic errors are nothing but whether it is following the structure of the Java program or not. Right? When there are no violations, it is going to generate dot class file, and this dot class file will be sent to JVM. That is something that we will understand now. I hope so far it is clear, and just type S in the chat box if you are able to follow me, or you can raise any questions if you have. Are you able to understand? What about you, Ganesh and Shashwan? Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So this many things are happening behind the scenes. So let me show you the real time. So there are no errors. If you find the cursor is blinking as soon as you hit enter, right? It means that compilation is successful. How do you confirm that compilation is successful? Right? You will have to see the dot class file. So let me show you that. So dot class file will be generated in the same location. Which location? The location that this is pointing to. D drive Java 3. Java 3 is the folder. This is where you will find what? Dot class files. So let me take you to that location. D drive Java 3. So previously we had only .java file. After compilation, the dot class file is generated. Let me open this. I think you can read this. So this is something you cannot understand this. It's not readable. That's why it is called as what? Bytecode or intermediate code. So it is using some kind of language where only system can understand. You as a person, we cannot able to decrypt this program. So this is called as dot class file. So dot class file, when the dot class file is generated, it means that the program has no errors. Compilation is successful. Right? Now the question is, let us say that I have class sample. Let me take two more classes, class A, class B. So in this example, I have three classes, right? In a particular Java file, I have three classes. Yes or no? Right? Yes. So if I compile this, how many dot class files will be generated? Answer me. Answer me in the chat box. In this Java file, I have three classes. If I perform the compilation, how many dot class files will be generated? I want you to answer. Come on. Very simple, no? How many dot class files will be generated? Samyukta, BG, Ganesh, Rashwant. In this file, I have three classes, class A, class B, class C. If I perform compilation, how many dot class files will be generated? Question is very simple now. Yes, three. That's correct. Three dot class files will be generated. What's our what's in there? It's a very simple question. Three dot class files will be generated. So let me do that. Let me delete this. Let me save the program and perform the compilation. So now you don't see anything, right? Let me save the program. So I have just saved it. This is the proof that I have saved it. Sample.java source code. So after the compilation, let us see how many dot class files will be generated. So compilation is successful. Can you see three dot class files? A, B, sample. Class file. Class file. Right? The answer is very simple. Dot class files are equal to the number of classes that you define in the Java file. Very simple answer. Let me write that down. Please rejoin after 9 o'clock. The call gets disconnected. Q3, please rejoin. The class is going to be for little more time, for 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. How many dot class files will be created in after the compilation? Answer is very simple. It depends upon number of classes that we define in a Java file. Or you can say, or it is directly proportional to the number of classes. Right? Hope this is making sense. And again, so it is not like the dot class files will be generated only for the Java classes. There is no rule like that. Dot class file will also be generated for interfaces. So we have a containers like interfaces are similar to classes. Dot class files will be generated for interfaces. It will be generated for enums. It will be generated for inner classes. I will explain all this in the future. It will also be generated for abstract classes. If you find this, if you find interface, and dot class file will be generated for interfaces. If you find enums, the dot class file will be generated for enums, inner classes. So let me make this very clear. Let me delete all this. So this is simple class file, right? So let me take an interface. Interface is just like a similar to class file, but it is going to have different functionalities. We will see that in the future. What I'm trying to say is dot class files will also be generated for interfaces, enums. Enum is also a keyword. Dot class file will be generated. And abstract class. Abstract is a keyword and class is a container. And dot class file will be generated for abstract classes also. And inner classes. Inner classes means a class within a class. This is an inner class. Don't get confused. Now count this. We have so totally for interface one dot class file will be generated, for enum second dot class file, for abstract class third dot class file, for outer class fourth dot class file, for inner class fifth dot class file, for sample class totally 6 dot class files should be generated. So totally, I was saying totally 6 dot class files will be generated. For interface one dot class file, for enums, so don't worry about this keywords. Interface enums, they are just like similar to classes, but they have some additional a different functionalities. So far we have discussed just about class, right? We will discuss all this in the future. So what I am trying to say is dot class files are not limited to classes. Dot class files will also be generated for interface, enums, abstract class, a class keyword followed by an abstract keyword, they are called as abstract class. Inner class is nothing but a class inside a class, right? So totally we are anticipating 6 dot class files. Let us check that. Let me save this. Before even saving, let me delete all this. I have deleted file, save. So let me see. Okay, sample.java has been saved. After compilation, we will see how many dot class files are getting generated. Java C space sample dot. Compilation is successful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 dot class files are generated. Right? So we have for interface one dot class file, second dot class, third dot class, fourth dot class, outer class, fifth dot class, for sample plus x.class. So this is all about the dot class file. The second question is like this. Question 2. Dot class files are limited only to the classes the answer is no. The dot class files will be generated for the following entities. They are classes, class, okay, let me write like this, class, interface, enums, abstract class, inner class. So you have 5 entities, 5 containers where you can, where dot class files are, where dot class files can be generated for these 5 containers: classes, interfaces, enums, abstract class, and inner class. This is also a popular interview question. Right. Now tomorrow the question is going to be, today we have completed about compilation. I hope the compilation is making some sense today. Java compilation, and this is what the internal things are. This is what the behind the scenes. Today we have talked about JDK, and need to introduce one more thing. See, this is also, listen here. Let me take this space. Let me take this space. So far we have understood that Java is platform independent programming language. This is what our understanding is. Right? This is one of the popular interview questions. Java is platform independent programming language. Platform independent programming language. So Java is platform, but when you talk, JDK is nothing but Java development kit. So the question will be like, what is the difference between JDK versus JRE versus JVM? Java language is platform independent, but JDK is platform dependent. JRE is also platform dependent. We'll get explanation for this tomorrow. Dependent. And JVM is also platform dependent. Why they are platform dependent, we will understand that tomorrow. JDK, JVM, JRE, they are platform dependent. What is the difference between JDK? So far today we have just seen these things. JDK is there, JRE is there. Inside JDA, there is a folder called bin. Inside this folder, we have some tools, Java tools. These tools are used for the Java development. We have understood things like that. And we have a JRE, and we need to talk about this rt.jar. This will be completed tomorrow. So JRE, when JRE is coming into picture, JVM will also come into picture. The execution part will come into the picture. So far we have discussed about the compilation part. So JDK is representing the compilation. So JRE will represent the execution. Understand that? So JDK is representing what? Compilation. JRE will represent execution. And again there will be some scenes that are happening behind performing the execution, that we will discuss about tomorrow. And the most frequently asked interview questions are like, what is JDK, what is JRE, and what is JVM? Right? That we will understand tomorrow. People are saying Java is a platform independent programming language, but This JDK, JRE, and JVM, they are platform dependent. Why platform dependent? Why it is platform dependent? This understanding, we can understand this further tomorrow. Right? Write these notes and try to set the path by yourself today inside the environmental variables by seeing this video. Set the path by yourself and try to run the Java program by using the notepad. Right? If you have any doubts, see this video, and tomorrow we will complete what? We will complete execution part. Compilation is done, dot class files are generated. Tomorrow we will complete execution.